Hi, this is Mahesh Ravi, and in this video, we're going to take a look at how to use AI to create images and assets for your graphic design projects. What we will be discussing here is how to use this AI in the most efficient way to get the kind of assets that we want to use it in our graphic design projects. The first tool that I'm going to show you is Midjourney. So Midjourney is a really interesting tool where you could write text prompts to create the images that you actually require. One of the key things that you need to understand while using a tool like Midjourney is how to prompt or how to actually teach a Midjourney to generate the image that you are looking for. For instance, let's say if you want to create a photorealistic image of a baby, you might need to understand a few keywords of a real portrait to use it in that particular prompt, and it will recreate the effect. So we are in my Discord channel right now, and if you go to the Midjourney board, you can see the content that I've already generated using prompts. So we are going to use this to create a new prompt. So basically how this works is, if you backslash and write imagine, it actually gives you the option to write your prompts, and those prompts will be used by the AI to generate your request. So if you're not using a paid version of Midjourney, you can actually go to the community of Midjourney here, and you can use any of the rookie newbie channels to generate your images as well. I have a paid account, so I'm going to go to my bot and I will be able to create my images without sharing it with the public. So I'm right here and I'm going to write my prompt. So as I told you, right, if it depends on the image that you want to create, and it's a good idea to actually understand the technical specifications of the kind of image that you want to create. For instance, let's say we want to recreate a portrait image. So we need to understand what are the lenses which are used in portrait images, what is the aperture, what is the shutter speed that they are using, what is the kind of lighting that they have. So some basic understanding of photography will help you to create a very good looking portrait. So I would recommend going to a photography website, maybe something like Unsplash, and look for maybe the kind of image that you want to generate. So I want to generate a portrait. So I'm going to look for a portrait image. Interesting. So I'm just going to go here again, go to the details, and I can see that the XF is pretty. XF basically means the metadata or the technical specifications of an image. So you can see that it was shot with a 50 mm lens, f2.5 is the aperture, and 1/1000 is the shutter speed, and ISO is 200. So the point here is that if we actually use these in our keyword, it is going to create a result which is sort of similar to that. So let's try this. We need a portrait of a woman. And now let's use the things that we have actually seen in this image, right? So we will write all the text specs. So 50 mm, the aperture was f2.5, and the shutter speed was 1000 sec, and ISO was 100. That. Now, what we can visibly see, right? So if you want to, if that is the way that we want to generate an image, so I would say that the things that we can visually see here also, I'm going to use it as prompts, right? So portrait of a woman. So we can see that in this particular face, I'm seeing some freckles. So I'll just write that with freckles. And you can see that background is blurred. So we can mention that also, background blur. So anything else that you want to actually, look from here and take it and all that. So maybe the cropping and all that, you can mention it here. Headshot. Looking at the camera. So she is looking at the camera. Is there anything else that we can see here? No, I think this actually works pretty much. Yeah. So We're going to do this, and then we are going to, to end the prompt, put a full stop here, put two hyphens, and then write v5.2. So this is sort of important right now because we will get a lot more options to play around with if we are actually running Midjourney with version 5.2. By default, it runs on version 5. But if you add this command at the end of your prompt, it will actually use version 5.2, which is in beta, and then it will create better results, right? So this is what we have done, right? It's very, very, very basic. And let's try it. So we got some results. Can you see how similar the visual look of this is with this in the kind of, it looks like it is shot with the same camera, shot with the same amount of blur, looking at this, and we have the girl with the freckles as well. So we have four options here, and if you want to upscale one, you can click on the upscale button. So I want to upscale the first one and see how it actually looks. So you scale it up. I can see that I got a really interesting image which uses all the technical specifications of this particular photograph to create an image with AI. So this is completely AI, but it uses all the specifications from that real photograph because we fed it. You can even see if you upscale this image. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We upscale the third image here. You can see how the background is working right now, right? So it's even very similar with a 50 lens. It is shot like that. You can see that the face is very clear, but the background, including a bit of the hair, is out of focus because 50 with f 2.5 only has that sort of vision, field of vision, and it recreates it perfectly, right? So this is something when you can use when you are actually creating photorealistic image. Now, let's look at it a different style, right? So you want to create an image which needs to look like it is rendered using a 3D software. Just like how we studied a real photograph, we will be studying a 3D software. If you don't know any background in 3D, it will be difficult to know all the technical specifications of it. So what we can just do is you can look at maybe a tutorial video on any of the 3D tools and look for the keywords from there, and then you can use it. So for instance, let's say a rendering engine, very popular rendering engine called Redshift. So we'll go to their site and we will see that there are a lot of like interesting keywords that you can see from here, right? GPU accelerated biased renderer. That's still that is something that we can use to create an interesting character. Let's say we will do the same thing here. So let's go to Imagine and start trying it out. Portrait. Instead of women, we are going to write 3D model of a woman, face headshot. We'll try background blur. So we will say that it is actually created by using Redshift. So Redshift, we can write the 3D software also. So let's say Blender. And we'll say GPU accelerated, right? So just write those keywords. See, and I don't know what it means, but we are just going ahead and taking all the interesting keywords. So let's go to these things and then find out what they're mentioning. There will be a lot of jargon that we can use. Physically based materials, hair shader, skin shader. Okay, that could be something that we can add. Displacement mapping. Texturing. So we'll say textured. Is there anything in lighting? We can look at that. Dome light, mesh light, volumetric lighting is something that we can try. I'm just randomly picking it, right? Volumetric lighting. Okay, so let's say we have all of this, and we will end it again with the version 5.2. Click enter. Okay, again, really cool results. So we're going to go and upscale maybe this one. It actually looks pretty cool. So this looks like a 3D model of women. So it's not trying to emulate a real photograph or a real woman here, but it's actually creating a 3D model of it. You can see the quality of that, and you can see how it looks 3D, right? So and you look at the strands and everything and how it was rendered, right? So basically we it's a very, very simple technique, right? Whatever output that you want to create, you study the real technique used behind it, use the keyword or use the jargon to actually, and inject those jargon into the prompt that you're using in Midjourney, and it creates really, really neat effects, right? So this is how you can handle or use Midjourney to create some amazing design output for your design projects, depending on the style that you want, right? Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you with another video soon. Till then, bye.